Thank you, Maria, for taking care of that recording. Want to welcome everyone. For some reason, I can't change into gallery view here, but I'm sure there are quite a few of you here with us this afternoon. So thank you for taking the time to be with us this afternoon to discuss our workflow for rapid rehousing and what we're going to be able to discuss this afternoon so that way we can go ahead and make sure that our workflow is efficient so that we can make payments in a timely manner. We want to go ahead and do some housekeeping work first. If we go over to the next slide, we can ask everyone if we can to turn on your video. That will make it more interactive for everyone. If you're able to do that, throughout the training, we're going to have poll questions as well so that we can fully participate and engage in this training. We're also going to ask that everyone raise their virtual hands since we cannot actually see everyone's virtual faces. For some reason, I can't look in the gallery view, so I won't be able to see all the hands if you're doing it within a non-virtual way. So if you have a question during a slide, go ahead and use your virtual hand and we can go ahead and take care of that. There's going to be plenty of opportunities as well for questions, not only the poll questions, but also at the end of the training, we can open it up to everyone to clarify any kind of anything that they're going to need to be clarified on. So without further ado, let's introduce the team here. My name is Ismail Colon. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here. I oversee the Rapid Rehousing Department. And so I work together with the team to make sure that the workflows are good, efficient, and that we're processing things in a timely manner and able to troubleshoot any issues that come up with them. Along with us here, our team is Kendra Katant. She's also the Rapid Rehousing Coordinator and works with finance. Jill Menard, who's also an accountant specialist in our finance team. Maria Diaz, Lakeisha Leonard, and Shamia Cannon are all part of the Rapid Rehousing team. They're the ones who you probably interact the most with. They're the ones processing your applications. They're the ones looking at your paperwork and communicating with you all. So now we can put names to faces and we can go ahead and move forward. And we're going to give our attention to Maria so she can go ahead and begin our training.
Hi, everybody. I'm Maria, and today I am going to talk about the processing timeline. And I'm going to discuss the rental request process. You're going to do it by submitting a ticket to the community underscore assistant at act/ct.org. And then that will be assigned to a processor. And at that stage, once we review that, it will either be assigned, pending approval, or rejected. And then if it's approved, a check will be uploaded into HMIS and an email will be sent to the case manager. Once that is done, the ticket will be closed and the FSR will be updated to approve in HMIS. And that is just the timeline of the process. And we're going to move on to Shamia.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shamia. I'll be going over the fund request checklist. Everyone should be using the most updated document. Upload the completed documents into your client's HMIS profile under section Files and Documents. At the top of the fund request checklist, please indicate whether the rental request is an initial, ongoing, 3-month annual recertification or a rapid exit. Between monthly request and 3-month box, please include the month and year of the request. Once that is completed, please state the agency that is submitting the request and the type of funding source. Where it states month numbered, please state how many months the client has been in the program. If it is a prorated an initial request, please state initial prorated only if the client has moved into the unit or the apartment on the 15th of the month or later. If the client moved in before the 15th and it is still has a prorated amount, please put month number as 1. If the payment goes beyond 12 months, please provide the necessary documents, which include the exemption forms, inspection forms, and recertification. At the bottom of the fund request checklist, provide household composition such as the client's HMIS, name, relationship to the head of household, sex, and date of birth. Make sure to check the box for confirmation. Next page. Moving forward, make sure to check off the funding source that is being used and select the type of request such as rental assistance, security deposit, and so on. Also, make sure to put the amount that is being requested. Next. If you are not sure of the documents that are needed to be uploaded for your request, here is a checklist of all the documents needed for each request, such as your initial request, monthly rental assistance request, or recertification. You can find these documents on the website of www.ctbos.org/resources. Next. On the last page of the fund request checklist, both case manager and supervisor needs to sign and date the form. If the supervisor submits the request, then only the supervisor needs to sign and date. Before we dive in further into our training, let's start with a quick poll. You'll see your the 2 questions pop up. Please answer and submit your answer. Okay. I'll give it another minute. Okay. Did everyone answer? All right, moving forward, if you answered for the first one, the correct answer is approve exemption annual inspection and recertification forms for the first answer. For the second one, when is it one signature allowed on the fund request, on the fund request form? If you answered if signed by the supervisor, that is correct.
And do we have Isabella? She has her hand up.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Shemaya told me yesterday, but I've heard different things in the past from like trainings and stuff. For the fund request, um, when you first like get a place, you can use one packet and not two for like the amounts. Like the amounts like for the security deposit and then the first month. Like you can use just one packet and check off both.
On the fund request checklist where it states rental assistant and
Yeah.
security, you could put both amounts as long as they.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm. Okay. For like
Yeah, and just so I can jump in here, in that form, you can request both in one form, but you're obviously going to need two FSRs when you process that, one for the security deposit and one for the rent.
Okay, moving forward, I would give Maria the floor.
All right, and now I'm going to talk about the financial service request. And I'm gonna first clarify the difference between the fund request and the FSR. The fund request is a set of documents submitted for payment, and the FSR is the what you record in HMIS for payment. And you have to just make sure that when you're doing the FSR that everything matches with who the payee is. And then make sure that the enrollment and the account name always match. Sometimes there's two individuals, like you guys put like two different funding source. So you have to make sure that you're making sure that you have all that set up correctly. And we're going to move on to the next slide and we're going to talk about common errors. Some other common errors that we do notice is when there's a new um, property that comes in. Sometimes this is not you guys fault in any kind of source, but we need to know when there's a new owner that comes in, and when there is a new owner, we just need the W-9 to process that. You could also, if you guys know it ahead of time, just let us know in the email thread. And then when that is there, we just need the new W-9. We need the WAWA form, the rental assistant, and we need the FSR to match all that. So then we could process that. And also, one of the major common stuff that we see on the FSR is the status. It also always needs to say pending approval. Sometimes, for some reason, the status gets changed. So just have to make sure it always says pending approval. We're going to move on to identifying in the next slide, and the slide is also mine. We're gonna do another poll question, and I just want you guys to look at both FSRs and identify any kind of mistakes y'all see. It's either gonna be either A or B, and just pick which one you think is the correct FSR. You could pop the poll question for me now.
Put it on the next page.
All right, and I'm gonna display the correct answer for you guys. Um, we had a lot of people put B and a few people put A, and the correct answer was B. And we're gonna go on to the next slide, and that's the W9, and we're gonna give that slide off to Jill.
Before we move on, Maria, can we go back to that other slide? Let's talk about a little bit why the answer was B. Most of us got it right. Some of the common things we see missing or not correct are highlighted here, but sometimes we don't talk a lot about the quantity. So if you see the highlighted section at the bottom where it says quantity is 1 and unit rate 1145, requested amount 1145. So HMIS is built on top of somewhat of like an accounting system built on quantities in which at some point DOH can run reports and look at quantities and things like that. They haven't done that yet to my knowledge, but if we're choosing a different quantity other than 1 and we're choosing a unit rate, let's say it's 1145 like in this example here. If we choose quantity of 2 and a unit rate of 1145, it effectively doubles the unit rate. So instead of 1145, it's double that amount. So that's why the quantity is always going to be 1 here, and whatever the unit rate is, whatever it is. So if in the future, we're going to be looking at this more closely so that we can all make sure that the quantity is always going to be 1. So we will start kind of putting things in pending for you guys. If the quantity doesn't match the number 1, we'll let you guys know. I know it's somewhat of an adjustment, or at least we'll call it, we haven't really been uh, rejecting or anything like that on these FSRs when the quantity is not selected as 1. But from this point on, we will be looking at this a little closer with the quantity and unit rate. Any questions on that? And then the rest of the form that's highlighted, we want to make sure it's all completed appropriately. No missing zip codes or addresses or anything like that. And that the account and provider names match along with the enrollment as well. So as long as the information is correct on this FSR, we'll be able to process it pretty quickly. Thank you, Maria.
There you go, Jill.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Jill and I work in the finance department. Um, as far as W-9s, when they're filled out, it needs to have a name and or business listed on it, and be sure that the name or business listed on it matches the FSR. Um, with the W-9s, you can't end up with both. Well, no, it's supposed to just be either an EIN or social security number. So if it's going to an individual who owns the building, typically we would see the social security number filled out. If it's an LLC company, then we would see the EIN number filled out. When they do fill it out, please try to send them so they're legible. Because sometimes we're missing a number or we can't read it, and we don't want to hold you guys up on getting the check cut. So that would be greatly appreciated. And if at any time there's an address change or the property is sold, we will need a new W-9. So in that case, that'll be requested. Any questions on W-9? Going once, going twice. All right, we'll move on.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Lakeisha. I'm new to the Rapid Rehousing team. So I'm going to be going over submitting tickets. So please submit one ticket per rental request. Please include the HMIS ID number with the type of assistance and the month and year. All utility requests must be submitted separately. It should not be included with the rental request because then it will be rejected. Once we have received your submission, one of our team members will assign and then begin the processing. So we have been noticing some tickets come through the community resource, but it's not showing up in the ticketing system. Right now, we are trying to work on resolving that issue. But in that event, if we don't receive your submission through ticketing, we will input it on our end. But please reach out to us if you don't receive an email regarding your ticket has been assigned. So when you're uploading the documents, please make sure that you're labeling them correctly so that it avoids us to delay. We want to make sure that we're moving forward with your ticket without having to put you in pending due to missing documentation. If your ticket is in pending, you will receive a 48-hour systematic email stating it needs to be responded to. If it's not responded to, we would then have to wait until you submitted all the documents and then we can move forward. And then I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, so now I'm going to discuss application statuses. So when your application is approved and submitted with finance, that means there's no errors and you have submitted all the necessary documents and it's forwarded to the finance department so they can process your payment. Sometimes a ticket can go from from submitted to finance to then back in pending if finance reaches out to us with either a TIN mismatch or we need some clarification on documents. So please make sure that documents are submitted accurately so that it avoids a delay. Let's see. Also, making sure that all your documents are clear and legible because we have to send them to finance. So if they're not able to read it properly, that will also delay. Rejected tickets are mostly duplicates. And also if they are written in the subject line incorrectly. So please always make sure you enter the client HMIS ID number, the month and year, and the type of assistance. Another reason it can be rejected is if it's been in the system for more than 20 days, you would have to then resubmit a new ticket. Now I'm gonna give your attention to Maria.
Hi, everybody. We're going to move on to utilities. When submitting utility requests, make sure all required documents are included. This is the fund request form, the calculation sheet, a utility bill with the account number, and include the month, the utility, and the year on the FSR. And make sure that on the reference line, when you are creating it, make sure that it also has the month and the year and the utility. And if you're doing multiple utilities, make sure you're putting what type of utility you're doing. And also have the COC participant agreement. And if the client is the one getting paid directly, a W-9 is required, and they will receive a 1099 if payment exceed 599. And just a reminder that utilities must be submitted on their own. And if you're doing the utility bill and you did the bill separately and you have not uploaded a bill in a long time, it's just nice for you to upload the bill and make sure you put whatever bill it was, so then we're not looking for the bill, because it takes us time to look for the bill. And just make sure the bill is clear, because if finance cannot read that bill or read those numbers, they will kick it back to us. And we're going to move on to the next slide. These are examples of utility bills. And these are how the utility bills needs to look. Just make sure that when you guys are creating the FSRs, that you're writing it to the correct address. I made sure that we highlighted where they need to go. Each bill is different. And we're gonna move to a poll question, and is just for you guys to look at examples of where it should be mailed to, or when y'all creating the FSRs, where it should be addressed to. I'm gonna give people a little bit more time, about 20 people in so far. All right, that is the end of the poll question. And a lot of people answer B. We had a few people answer A. Would like to discuss this a little to see why people put A instead of B, and when you look at B, it tells you payment to, and when you look at A, it tells you the supplier information. So we won't put A because that's the supplier information. So this tells you this is C&G information. So we don't want to send it to their information. We want to send it to where it says where they want the payments to send to. So you have to make sure that you're looking at the bill, because if you don't put like where they want the payments to, this could delay payment to payment to. So we don't want payments to get delayed. So just make sure you're looking at the bill. And we're gonna move forward and give it up to Lakeisha.
Okay, hello everyone. So we're going to talk about questions that you would send to the funds email. So you cannot send any messages towards a ticket submission if it's already closed. It's best to just reach out to the funds email right here, funds@act-ct.org, and we'll be able to respond to you about any issues regarding a ticket submission, status on a check, or if it needs to be picked up in person, or putting a stop payment on a check. If we have processed a payment and you guys have, the landlord has not received it, you have to wait up to 3 weeks and then we'll be able to reissue. But please make sure you reach out to us in regards to that so that we can also investigate whether it was cashed or anything like that. So the next one, please. And this is our support contact information. You can reach us through this number or through the funds email. It's faster to reach us through the funds email. That way that you can have a faster response. If you do have any questions from the landlord, make sure you are reaching out to us through the funds email because we do not speak to landlords about payments. So if they have any questions, reach out to us. That way we can give you the necessary information to relay to them. So now I'm just going to open the floor to any questions you guys may have. So you can take your mics off.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Who was that?
Are we gonna get a copy of the slides?
Yeah, so you're going to get a copy of the slides. You're going to get a link to the recording of this training session as well. It's going to be posted, both things, both the slide deck and the recording are going to be on our website, which we'll also link to once we conclude this session.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, I do have a question. Hi, everybody. So just to clarify, as far as signatures, so you're saying that it doesn't, the case manager and the supervisor's signature, you don't need both signatures on the FSR?
We need both signatures if the case manager, okay, let's say I'm the case manager, right? And I'm submitting the ticket, I need my supervisor to sign it with me. But if I'm the supervisor and I'm submitting the ticket, then I only am the only one that is gonna sign the ticket.
Okay, all right. So, because I'm the supervisor, so
So, and if you're the supervisor, then you're the only one signing the ticket. Nobody else is
I'll
gonna sign it with you.
so I'll just sign where it says signature supervisor and that's it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, okay.
But
Thank
if you're
you.
gonna have a case manager do it, the case manager and you both need to sign.
Okay. But what if I'm okay? All right. Because sometimes I do them, so
Yeah, so only your signature will be required.
But it depends who's submitting the ticket, though.
So if it's being
If you
submitted by you,
if it's submitted by you,
Uh-huh.
but if like you're having somebody else submit the ticket for you, then both signatures are still going to be
Okay.
required because we're not going to know who they are.
All right. Yeah, so I usually submit them and I usually, as of for right now, so just my signature and I'll be good.
Then you'll be good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Feel free. This is the time.
So, I mean, I'll continue on. Just some things that we've noticed in the past regarding documents in HMIS. Sometimes they're not labeled properly, and so that takes a while for our team to have to sift through looking for a specific type of document, and it's not really named appropriately. Um, I know we've had requests in the past as well from DOH to make sure that the file names are named appropriately as to what they are so that we can readily identify when we go in there and we grab those documents. Also, if for some reason your ticket goes on pending because there's a need for a different document or an updated document, once you update that in HMIS, the team doesn't get notified automatically. So you're going to have to notify or reply to the pending ticket, letting our team know that the information has been updated in HMIS, and that's our cue to go grab that information. So there's no direct automation from HMIS to our ticketing system. And one of the last things I'll kind of mention in this kind of area is that when we get phone calls from landlords, our initial procedure is to route them back to you guys because our communication should be going through you and you should be the ones communicating to the landlords. And again, we're happy to answer any and all questions that you may have. This is definitely the time to do it. Also, if you guys are hiring new folks, please let us know so that we can add them to our contact list. So that way, you know, we can receive their tickets as well, and we can add them to our weekly dashboard email so they can receive that as well for spending. Yeah, so this is definitely the time to discuss any questions that also may come up. If you have them, if you're curious about anything, you probably seen that our focus was mainly on making sure that the information is accurate and readable, because we've been seeing that has been a challenge in recent times. And so you can send an email to funds@act-ct.org for any new staff that are hired so that we can add them to not only the list serve for sending out the dashboard, but also our contact portal for our ticketing system. And any inquiries that is not creating a ticket should go to funds. So any questions you may have goes to funds. That's not part of an open ticket.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I can remember, but I saw that the forms were updated, so we should start using those. It says like October 25. Okay.
Yeah. So DOH recently updated that funds list request sheet. So go ahead and pull. Does everybody have the link for that site where you can grab the most up-to-date documents for DOH?
Is that boss?
Yes.
Okay.
What else, team? Are there any common things that we've been seeing recently that we want to just highlight real quick while we have everyone here?
I have one. I mean, it's been get slowly getting better, but back to the um emailing back funds. So I did notice, like on our side, the finance side, we have been getting here and there a few FSRs that are saying turned away. It's very important that and I think most of the cases are because a landlord is saying that, oh, never mind, like, that was the wrong amount, or you guys put the wrong amount, or they changed landlords. It is very important to let us know stuff like that because we rent twice a week on the same day every time. So we try to get all the rents in and out for the landlords to get paid on time. So if you are communicating through the ticket or just going on HMS and turning away the FSR, we have no idea that you did that. So that payment's gonna go out, then it's gonna have to get voided, and it's gonna be a whole process. So it just makes everything a little slower. So it's really important that if it's an emergency like that, like you paid the wrong person or the person got kicked out or whatever the case might be, it's very important to let ACT funds know. Um, I know it might seem like it's easier to just contact whoever was working on the ticket, but I promise you it's not because they don't get a notification. So ACT funds is the place to go for that. Any questions on that one?
Not about that, but I have a
Mhm.
quick question. I don't know if you guys know if the payments will get rejected if the client doesn't have a picture ID.
We don't
No,
look
okay,
for that.
okay,
No,
okay,
no,
okay.
that's not one of the things on the checklist for us,
Got
at
it.
least.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if anyone does get new team members, you can go ahead and review this information. If you need further assistance, we can schedule one-on-one training sessions for whatever your needs are when it comes to submitting and making sure that we want to process things as quickly as possible and get those payments out as fast as possible. So any way we can work together on doing that, if we see that there are challenges with getting that done, we'll reach out to you guys and we'll try to make sure we work together to identify and sort out any issues that are underlying. So we want to thank everyone for coming through this afternoon and joining us for this training session for us regarding our workflow. If there are any questions, go ahead and send them through to funds. We will send out links for both the slides and the training session once we complete the session and the website link. Oh, one hand here, Juanita.
I want to speak privately.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we can reach out to you and do that. It won't be here unless you want to wait till everybody leaves and we can turn off the
Yes,
recording.
please.
Okay, let's
Thank you.
do that then. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.